Hi everyone, welcome to your Messages from Beyond the Clouds reading. In just a moment, you're going to be taken to a point where you are going to see 3 different skyscapes. So in these readings, they are tarot readings, but over a period of many days, I record the sky, and the sky actually, the clouds, what you see in the sky, becomes part of the reading for you. So that's what you'll be watching while you hear your tarot reading. And the messages from the sky come from beyond from the clouds, obviously. It is what I would describe as a gatekeeper energy. It is guides, counsel that sits between heaven and earth. So these are deeper messages. These are open messages, so there's no particular topic, but each one of these messages does feel very healing in itself. And the experience of these readings is meant to be somewhat healing as well. I would almost call this turning tarot and divination into also a mindfulness experience. So it's my hope that doing this message in this way for you is going to open things within you that would otherwise may not be open so easily in a typical tarot reading. So that's what I have for you. So now we are going to go to the pile selection. You can either choose based on the skyscape that you see in front of you for number 1, 2, or 3. You can go by number 3 or just what your intuition is telling you. Or maybe you want to see all 3. I don't know. But thank you so much, and now prepare yourself for your skyscape reading journey. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. I want you just to take a moment before we get into what your message is going to be. Just take a moment, just relax into this reading. Allow your mind to open up to everything that you see in front of you, which should actually be very little. So in a way, it's allowing things far beyond what you perceive every day to come into your mind right now. Take a couple of deep breaths and let's get ready for this reading. Pile number 1, I see with the cards that have been pulled out for your reading, I see that you are being asked at this time to be as courageous as you've ever been. You are about to surmount something that is far more difficult and perhaps much scarier than anything that you've ever surmounted before. I do want to say, if you don't feel like you are facing a major challenge and an ending to this major challenge, this is not your pile, because this is very clear in the cards that have come out with this reading. Pile number 1, you've been carrying a burden for quite some time here, and I do feel, to be honest, that there's something that you have been trying to release. You have been trying to release this, and I feel that there are confusing voices. There have been confusing voices. They literally, in the cards that I'm seeing, they breathe smoke. And this smoke is almost like it's to prevent you from seeing what you can actually become and how your life is going to change when you get beyond this point. The message, the strongest message for you at this time coming from beyond the clouds is to find courage. And in this courage, you will not find yourself alone. If you can find the courage to move past something that is very difficult, it's a very difficult ending, and this ending just feels like that there are people around you, people that might be involved with this ending, that breathe smoke. So literally the words that they speak, the intention that they show, I feel very much that those intentions are meant to trigger your fear. They are meant to prevent you. There are attempts at preventing you from seeing how much you will accomplish once you get past this. When I said that you're not alone in this ending, finding the courage to do this, you have a very powerful fairy card that has come out for you in this reading. I've asked the fairies to come forward in this reading, and you have She of the Cruach. And this is very much like Empress energy to me. It is the love and the nurturing that can flow through all of us, and it is very much associated with unconditional and spiritual healing and love. You can receive this, and you will receive this. This is something that is coming in for you. It's almost as if it's something to nurture and soothe you after you've made it through this difficulty. And it's so interesting that you would pull this She of the Cruach, and that she's very much like the Empress. Actually, what's funny is that this card is number 5, which is the Hierophant. And it does feel like this is something that comes from divine. This is sent to you from divine. What you're dealing with in some sort of major ending here, this is not divinity. It works very much in the opposite sense of that. There is a hidden factor here that you are unaware of, and it is connected to She of the Cruach, and it is the actual Empress card. So it is almost telling us that this is coming in, and it's also clarified by the Four of Swords. So it is very, very, very healing. You have a lot of spiritual protection around you right now. And I feel like it's almost as if it's ramped up. It is ramped up for you at this time, because you are going through something that is a very difficult ending. And there are energies around you that do not want to participate in this ending. The energy that is approaching you is the Ten of Swords. So you can see that this is it is an ending. It will be something that you experience once and once only. You're being asked to embrace this ending, this finalization of something from your past. The Death card is the one that breathes smoke, and it's sitting in the position of what you are being asked to release. The really beautiful part of this reading is what you're being asked to embrace. What you're being asked to embrace here is the Queen of Coins, and she's clarified by the Knight of Coins. So you are being asked to embrace what feels very much like that nurturance. And it feels like something that doesn't feel like a whirlwind. It feels very steady, very mature. And it's something that you can be grounded in. You can feel comfort in this. This will show up in your life, and it will feel like part of your life. She of the Cruach is supported by the Three of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So you can see how this is coming in for you. It's almost like a seed that you planted a long time ago, and it hasn't bloomed until you really needed it. And this is the time that you're going to need it. And it's coming in. It's as if you're about to make it to the end of a finish line of a very long and difficult race. And in this race, there were others who were perhaps telling you lies about which paths to go down, how big the jump was. There was misinformation. I feel that there's been misinformation surrounding you, and you are really being asked to release this. And part of this misinformation may be things that you started to believe, even started to believe about yourself, and how this influenced you. Interesting. I am not aware of at what point this reading ties into what you were seeing on the screen. But I am being told to focus into the sky. Take a moment and focus into the sky. Visualize yourself beyond this difficulty. Feel the openness of the air and recognize that that is a natural state for you. Whatever has been holding you back, whatever has been difficult to release, utilize this moment to feel space, to feel free, to feel your sovereignty. The energy that is approaching you is this painful ending. It is inevitable. It feels like this ending is inevitable. You will come to this point in time. You're on this path and there is no going back. What's not inevitable is how you approach this ending. If you can be brave in this ending, if you can find courage, it does not ask you to not feel fear. Finding courage is about experiencing fear and being brave enough to take a step forward into it, knowing that you will move beyond it. The Page of Swords is supporting this Ten of Swords. There are many books surrounding this page. There are many things that you are about to learn in this ending. You'll become very clear about yourself. You'll become very clear about the smoke that was spoken around you. And the smoke is the illusion, right? The illusion. The illusions that others perhaps asked you to believe in. The underlying card, you have two, because there were two tarot decks used in this reading. You have the Awakening card, and you have the Hanged Man. The Awakening is like the Judgment. It's as if this is something you've waited a long time for. And somehow, in the waiting for this, you almost became comfortable in the presence of it. And now that it comes to a conclusion, there is a sense of discomfort, because what will you be left feeling if you are not feeling anxious, anxiety, burdens, confusion? you will feel clear. You will feel clear. And it does feel as if in a very short period of time, this Empress energy comes into your life. It is so healing. It is warmth. It is joy. It is seeing beyond the smoke. I do see that whenever this ending occurs, that anyone or anything that was standing in the way of this ending will dissipate. It will not only remove itself physically from your life, but energetically and spiritually as well. This is not an energy that you will ever have to deal with again. You should anticipate this ending. Spend time in nature. I am hearing to spend time in nature, to walk, to sit still, and just to breathe deeply in spaces where you do not feel confined. The energy in the cards regarding what you should release and what is approaching you are very confining. It is the final push through for something very major in your life. You will never have to meet this, I'm hearing, monster again. This monster being perhaps someone, or it feels more strongly a situation. There are two faces in this death card that breathe smoke. For some of you, there may be two people involved with something that you're having difficulty closing. I'm hearing that this ending will come on a day of cloud. It will be a cloudy day that is not forecast to be cloudy. It's as if it is a day that the sun is not really meant to shine for you. It is meant to be a day that feels like closure. It is meant to be a day that feels like finalization. And for some, it may be a day that is meant to feel like a mourning, as in mourning the ending of something. It's perhaps one of the last cloudy days. And I feel that's how you were meant to feel it, as the last cloudy day, when this ending occurs. I'm going to read for you the card that you received from the Journey of Love Oracle deck. It's called Dream a Little. It's number 51. The divine wants to bless you with inspiration, just as a lover would come to the door of the beloved with a spontaneous gift of flowers. So dream a little. Let your imagination wander and wonder. What if? What else could be? breaking down the rigid walls of expectation. Just because something has been does not indicate that it must continue in the same way. So dream a little and receive your spiritual gift. This oracle brings you guidance. A spiritual gift of inspiration is on its way or has just recently been received. It isn't flight of fancy. It's a gift from the divine. Receive it and believe in new possibilities. That feels very much like the energy of this Empress and she of the Kruak. From unexpected meetings, we talked and shared our lifetime. A gentle, peaceful, quiet time, reflected in our smile. For some of you, I feel that you are closing off perhaps some difficult relationships. You are going to be moving into relationships that are not difficult. These relationships are driven by the divine. I do feel with this pile, this group that has come into this pile, that you have earned your badge, and this is a badge of difficult honor, of an uphill battle, dark nights and perhaps dark days. But I really, honestly, I see so much love and stability, great amounts of it that move slowly through you and with you. It's as if the universe recognizes that in some way you should be handled with kid gloves moving forward, if even just for a short time. And the universe is bringing kid gloves to you. Like a bruised peach that needs to be handled softly. So, my Sweet Pile 1 group, I am going to do an extended for this reading. You can meet me over there if you would like. If this is where we part, I wish you all the courage you need to move beyond this ending for yourself, and know that you will find love and stability and light and gentle-heartedness on the other side. Remember to be gentle with yourselves. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Before we get into the depth of your reading here, I just want you to take a moment to kind of be pulled into the sky, the skyscape that you're looking at right now. Kind of relax into this reading. Open yourself up to your guides. Give them permission to speak through me to you. And let's prepare yourself for this reading. Wow, pile number 2. This is quite a message that's coming out here in this reading for you. You have some very, very strong fairy energy that's come out. I am using the fairy oracle deck for these readings, and You have the undressing of a salad as your main card that has come out. And your underlying card is the soul shrinker. Both these are difficult energies. I feel like you are currently on the cusp of a major change in your life. I feel as though this major change isn't something that you necessarily feel is good for you. You may feel that your fortunes are changing for the bad. You may even feel that your fortunes might be changing for the good. And this feeling might even go back and forth, to be quite honest, in the energy that I see in these cards. The important thing to remember right now for you is that the energy that you sit in is exceptionally mutable. It is in flux, and it can be completely rechanneled if it needs to be. Nothing is set in stone with your reading. I do feel, though, a bit that you might be a little bit set in stone here. The small tarot deck that I used to clarify this reading, the underlying card, after clarifying everything, there were two, the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. It's as if you've been trapped in a storm for a very long time. And it feels as though moving yourself out of the storm could possibly move you away from something that you may feel you are losing right now and you don't want to. That's the part that feels a little bit like something is changing or happening around you that you may feel like at this time isn't the best thing for you. The answer to that question, is this the best thing for you? I do feel like yes, it is. In the long run, it absolutely will be. However, with the soul shrinker as the underline for your fairy guidance, there is a possibility right now that you might be dealing in a situation or with a situation where yourself and someone else or others maybe possibly not seeing things eye to eye. And there is definitely the caution with the soul shrinker card is to take responsibility for our own feelings rather than to blame them on others. There's a process here about learning compassion, mostly towards ourselves with this card. The soul shrinker also comes with a message about critical and malicious thoughts and words that can end up having a detrimental effect on the situation that you're involved in, as well as all people involved. Your clarifiers for the soul shrinker are the Chariot and the Queen of Swords. There's two ways to peel this apple. There's something here that perhaps needs to be cut out. There's more than one way to do this. There is perhaps something that needs to be made quite clear. There is something that needs to be very accurately thought out, very well intellectualized. And there is an important message here about not being carried away by feelings, particularly if these feelings are more negative. This card is speaking to us with the undressing of a salad. And there could even be certain things that you are trying to maintain in your life. And I feel that there may be others or another who is also trying to maintain something in their life. And it's as if these two ideas, perhaps these could be shared resources, it could be shared information, it could be shared goals, that they cannot exist side by side and in unity. If you have been trying to gain information about a situation that perhaps may leave you feeling remorse, defensive, confused, I do see that information is going to be coming through to you. Now, I feel like there's steps in this information. Each step that you take will lead you to more information. Each time you step forward and you receive more information, you will know how to move forward. So with your reading, it is very difficult to say that, well, this is what your outcome is going to be, because your outcome is really based on how you walk forward each step of the way here right now. So I've pulled out the tarot cards to go along with the fairies here. What are you being asked to release right now in your life? Well, this is a big card, and it is a very deep question to be answered here. And I ended up with 6 clarifying cards to try to fully understand it for you. The card that came out was the Sun. So this can have something to do with a bigger wish or dream that we had for ourselves. I feel on some level here that this wish and dream needs to be met with very practical application. I do also feel that you are being asked to reassess what this large wish or dream is for yourself. And I feel you're being asked to reassess that because it may not be in alignment with who you're going to be on the other end of this process. The Death card and the Tower were the 2 clarifiers that first came out with your Sun card. It does speak to me of a very dramatic ending, but with the promise of a rebirth. It is as if the sun has temporarily gone behind the clouds and you had your day planned. You were going to go on your picnic. You were going to go for a swim. But the minute the sun went behind the clouds, it changed everything. So in some way here, you are being asked to release the plan you had for the day and be open to what comes towards you. Your undressing of the salad was clarified with the Ace of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. This is where I feel that you will almost in a step-by-step process, in a day-to-day approach, receive information and knowing that will help you step forward. I feel that the outcome for you is much bigger than what you possibly perceive for yourself at this time. The Death card and the Tower were clarified by the 2 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. So again, it feels like there's some level of dream, hope, wish for yourself, which is what you're being asked to release, to cut this free. And with the 6 of Pentacles and the Tower, I think you may be surprised in terms of how much you have to give and how much the universe is willing to give how much you may receive as well. The Two of Wands and the Death card were clarified by Justice. So part of the reason for releasing a dream, a hope, this planned sunny day that you had for yourself, is that the universe and your deeper self have a different course to take. The Eight of Pentacles came in under the Six of Pentacles and the Tower. This is definitely working towards something, but I do feel that your dream is being asked to shift. You may not even know how to shift your dream right now, and I think you may not because of the cards that are on the table here. But that's okay, because honestly, you're being asked to take each day step by step with the information that you now have. I feel you are walking into some sort of period of time here where information will be coming to you like a tap dripping. And each time a drip comes through, something becomes more clear in your path. What you are being asked to embrace is the Ten of Cups. This is an absolutely beautiful energy. This is an emotional fulfillment that you may not have even thought about applying to whatever your big wish or dream was here. But it does feel like it creates a foundation of support for other dreams and wishes that is much more powerful than if you had just simply reached the sun. Because we do need to remember that your sun has the Death card in the Tower. This dream, even if you fulfill it in some manner, the way that you have created it for yourself, it will not hold up. It would collapse. The Ten of Cups is clarified by the Two of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Ten of Cups again. There is success for you here. There is, I feel like, a much needed success, particularly with the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles being the underline for these clarifiers. I also feel that you do not have the information. You do not have the knowing. There is something that is missing for you to even see this Ten of Cups. But all that is asked of you is to open up to the possibility of your dream being so much bigger than what it is in your mind right now. But for it to become bigger, you have to basically scrunch up the blueprint of what the dream was and allow the universe to be the first one to draw out the new blueprint for this dream for you. I don't feel that a lot is asked of you actually right now at this time, except to, in yourself, be mutable, be open to shifts and changes, and to have faith. That is probably one of the biggest things to ask of anyone, and that is certainly being asked of you in this reading. The hidden factor that you are unaware of is the Four of Cups. The image in this card, it feels so much like what I would expect to see with the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. It is somebody who is covered from head to toe with just a tiny opening in the face, covered in this dark gray black robe, and their face is very forlorn. They are standing on the top of a gray cliff. Colors seem muted. Life seems less than robust. There is this beautiful cup that floats towards this person on a cloud. But it is the mindset that prevents this person from seeing this cup. And what is within this cup but the Empress? This is the clarifying card for the hidden factor that you are unaware of. The Empress may symbolize the energy that comes towards you to create this Ten of Cups, this emotional harmony and fulfillment that we build with others outside of just ourselves. This is the energy that brings new life. It nurtures, it soothes. It's the safest haven of all. And this is what is being presented to you, what will be presented to you. But the emotional and mental mindset has the potential to stop you from seeing it. The energy that is approaching you is the Five of Coins, the Five of Pentacles. This to me feels like the point in time where you walk away from the sun. When you walk away from your day planned. The clouds have rolled in. The sun is not shining. And you move away from what was a dream. This Five of Coins is quite an intriguing card. There is an older person whose face we cannot see because their back is to us. And they are carrying this young child. The young child feels like you to me in this card. The young child's face is the only face that we can see. And it is as if the universe is trying to carry you away from a wish that just would not have built anything for you in the long term. It might have felt good temporarily, but down the road it would have had to have been pulled apart. And if that was something you didn't do, the universe would certainly do it for you with the Tower card. Removing yourself from something here that you may find very difficult to remove yourself from with the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. The Moon and the Eight of Wands are clarifying this Five of Coins, Five of Pentacles. I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some fear associated with this. There's going to be a need to follow your intuition. If your gut tells you there's something that you should be doing for yourself that is not in alignment with perhaps a dream that was built upon by who you were at some other point in time, the intuition, the gut, is what will guide you beyond perhaps your own ego trying to reconvince you of a dream that no longer serves you. The emotional state that you may find yourself in. Your intuition will be very important here. The Eight of Wands tells me this is coming. You're moving through this. It won't feel particularly easy though with this Eight of Wands. There is a tornado that is sort of interfering with the direction of all of these wands. If there's anything for you to really take with this reading, with this pile number 2, it is that the universe has big plans for you, but it is asking you to release something. Release something that you may even identify yourself with. Your own identity might be linked to some sort of release here. So this is not an easy thing to ask of anyone. But who you become on the other side is so much more than who you would have become if you clung to this dream. For the final part of your message, pile number 2, I have pulled out a card from the Journey of Love Oracle deck. The card that you received is number 48, Man of the Earth, Woman of the Sky. I see myself in you and you in me. We may seem to be so different and sometimes yet so similar. Even beyond this, I know deep within that we are one. I can lose myself in your light and receive your light with my body. I can witness the darkness of your shadow and enter into it with my compassion. I can find the divine in our connection, letting go of what I thought I was. I can be broken apart to become as one with you, even if only for a second, and know the divine more intimately than ever before. Our passion leads us to each other, and in each other we find our true selves. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You are being opened to sacred relationship, either in your current relationship or one that is on its way to you now, in human relationship and in divine relationship with the heavenly beloved. Know you are worthy of it and keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it is dark, when it challenges you, there is sacredness unfolding. The love of the divine wants to reach us not only in our happiness, but also, perhaps more so, in our darkest hour. Let it reach for you through your relatedness with another, and do not be afraid to be broken and opened, for in that cracking of what you thought you were, you shall begin to know what you are, which is heaven on earth. The poem that comes with this message. How rare to be born with a name of love. What challenges await that I must face, or voice to listen to from above, telling what I must embrace. Each day I walk a path unknown, with no regrets for where I've been. Each experience is mine to own, no choices called to live again. How strong I am, I ask myself. The measured test unfolds each day, a blessing of enormous wealth. Inside the gift will always lay. So pile number 2, that is your message. I am going to go and do an extended portion of this reading. The link to that can be found at the bottom of the description in this video. If I see you there, wonderful. If not, until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Before we get into the cards, I'm going to ask you to just let yourself kind of be taken away by the skyscape that is in front of you for this reading. Take some deep breaths Imagine you exhaling through each exhale any heaviness in your life, and open up to the possibilities of things beyond what we perceive in our day-to-day. And if you feel ready, relaxed, open to the messages, let's step into your reading. You have quite an interesting reading, and I want to say that I think some of you may have come from another pile here. I don't want to say what pile, but if you were drawn to another pile, you might want to go and see it. I just, at first glance, looking at all of your cards, I see something that is about to start unfolding for you. And I do see the universe asking you to pay attention to all of the little teeny tiny clues that are around you and present it to you. You're about to go into a very profound and expansive period in your life. But before you get there, you do have to make some little shifts here. And you do have to learn to follow the clues. I am using the Fairy Oracle deck here to start each one of these readings. The fairy that you had come out for you was Mike the Myomancer. And Mike the Myomancer is all about discovering small clues, seeing the significance and the details within everything around us, realizing that messages are actually everywhere, and being patient. And what's really kind of funny is the underlined fairy card is Geo the Slow. So there's your element of patience. It's as if there's a gift waiting for you on the other side of a cycle here. And this gift is so interesting and so beautiful that the universe has wrapped it in a package that you won't want to tear open quickly. It's worth looking at and paying attention to the details of what paper was picked, how the tape was applied, how the ribbon was attached to this package. This isn't something that you should dive into real fast, nor is it something that's going to be sitting on the coffee table for you to see very easily. It's a little bit like a treasure hunt, because quite frankly, it is a treasure. Before I even get into the cards that came out, the tarot cards for your reading, before I get out into that, I want to talk just very briefly about the underlying cards after those ones. The underline signifies for me the reason that we're really here in the first place for this reading. I said firstly you had Geo the Slow, so yeah, things have been going slow perhaps for you. But like I said, this appears to be a treasure hunt. And where there is a treasure hunt, there is treasure to be found. And it wouldn't really be treasure if it was just out in the open for everyone to get. So that would be the first explanation for you as to why perhaps certain things in your life are moving slowly. The underline for the tarot is the Sun card and the Five of Swords. To get to this treasure, you have to first dispose of some past dream. And that right there is a significant reason why I feel that some of you have come from another pile. So this past dream that you need to dispose of, it doesn't serve your higher good. And at this point, I'm now going to get into what tarot cards have come out for you and start unwrapping a bit of this message. What you're being asked to release is the Devil. What you're being asked to embrace is the Six of Cups. A hidden factor that you are unaware of is the Four of Swords. And the energy that is approaching you is the King of Wands. Now, it's significant to note that the Devil card was clarified by the Queen of Wands and the Two of Swords. The King of Wands was clarified with the Empress. So there's two messages in this, and one I think is for fewer of you, and that's the one I'm going to touch on right now. And then I'm going to continue to go with what is the stronger message in this reading. For some of you, there has been a toxic habit or form of your use of the feminine energy. It doesn't matter if you see yourself as masculine or feminine. We all have these attributes within us. And it is something here in terms of almost exercising your own magnetism to bring things towards you which you may not even want in the first place. So it's exercising your own magnetic energy. It is perhaps displaying your power in a way that has not been useful for you and others. It is to release this, possibly a toxic bad habit, and instead, with this King of Wands as the approach, it is to recognize the strength that you have and the ability you have to go after what it is that you want. So no longer use a toxic habit to draw things towards you, which you may not want in the first place, but it is to recognize the strength in your decision making and to go after what it is that you want. And in that, you will claim everything you ever dreamed of with the Empress. I think we could probably all take that as a message anyways, but now I'm going to go into how this seems to unfold on a more cohesive manner. If you've been holding yourself back in any way because you weren't really sure how to come forward, it's to stop trying to think about how to release yourself and what you should embrace. By embracing something, you release yourself. It's almost as if you've fallen overboard off of a boat and you're trying to get back into the boat. But instead of clawing at the boat, all you really need to do is reach out and embrace the life-preserving device that's been thrown into the water. And I say that too, water is a good example here, because what you're being asked to embrace is the Six of Cups clarified by the Ace of Cups. There's a deeper calling for your soul here. There may even be a deep connection for you, which I think for quite a few of you, there is a very deep connection here with another person, with another energy outside of yourself. This hidden factor, the Four of Swords, is clarified by the Ten of Cups. There's a lot of water here that you're not initially seeing. And I do feel like it could be part of the breadcrumb trail that you are being led along to find this package to unopen, maybe. That might be why Geo the Slow is here. You find the package, but you can't open it right away. And you do have the Eight of Swords as the underline for the teeny tiny deck that's clarifying this whole reading. So yes, you may find this package that is just for you. This is something very exciting. Something that you really can't wait to unwrap. But at least for a few minutes, it's off limits. You can't touch it. I don't know why. Maybe there's lasers that are set up on a timer. You have to wait for the right amount of time to elapse to be able to get to whatever this package is. I do feel as though you walk following this breadcrumb trail. And at some point along this journey, perhaps when you may even feel that you're tired of following the breadcrumb trail, that Mike the Myomancer can go and kiss your butt. You don't want to do it anymore. You're not following this breadcrumb trail anymore. I kind of feel like it's almost as if this sweet, incredible package that is linked to this treasure hunt appears on almost like a energetic conveyor belt. And then it starts moving towards you. Because I do feel that some of you may have stopped looking for this package with the Four of Swords. You might just be tired. You might just be tired. And you may just feel that you need to rest. That this trail through the forest, picking up all the clues, paying attention to the little signs, it can get kind of tedious. It can get kind of tiring. I think the universe agrees with you on that. Because the King of Wands is not an energy, if it's approaching you, that you need to go look for. It's coming on in, honey. It's coming in. Now, what is so interesting about Mike the Myomancer, this breadcrumb trail, paying attention to all these little clues. Because there's learning in the trail. I hear Mike Myomancer say that there's learning that goes on this trail. You had quite a few cards that came out to clarify Mike the Myomancer. You had the Star, the Ten of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Two of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. It's as if this treasure hunted package that I'm going to call the King of Wands, and I hope that doesn't make anyone feel objectified. It's as if this package is something that needs to be handled with carefully. It's linked to a pretty impressive dream that you have for yourself. And for many of you, it could be linked to a dream that you only started dreaming of once something very major ended in your life or changed its direction. And it almost feels as if something that you never really even knew you were looking for until something big happened in your life. It's a little bit like all the things that you were achieving and rushing towards in the past. You were really good at building those things, you know. You were really good at doing that. But there's something else here for you. Wasn't even on your radar. And you know, maybe it ended up on your radar. And it caused some sort of an awakening moment with you, for you, with the Judgment card. And you got on that path. You started following that breadcrumb trail. But this breadcrumb trail has been a lot harder than all the other things that you've achieved, it feels like. The Two of Cups with the Seven of Pentacles. This really, really amplifies the idea that this is a package that you open slowly. This is a package that you discover slowly. It's like, it's a good example. Where I live here in Canada, fresh fruit is not so easily attained, particularly in the colder months. We can get fruit, but it's not the same as something that's been ripened on a tree and freshly picked and eaten. It's like not having that fruit for a long time. And then you find yourself presented this great, big, perfect peach. And it smells nice. It's got just the right amount of fuzz on the outside. It's soft, it's supple. And you're pretty sure it's juicy inside. So you take your first bite of this piece of fruit and you realize you haven't had fruit in a long time. You could devour it. Or you could spend, I want to say it's almost like slipping into the Knight of Cups. Like you feel every sense within you is activated in eating this peach. And this peach symbolizes this new experience for you in the future. This treasure hunted package. And you almost become obsessed with recognizing and being hyper aware of the juice that runs down your chin when you take a bite of the peach. You become hyper aware of the flavors that are in the front of your mouth and the flavors that you pick up as you swallow the peach. This is something to be unwrapped very slowly. I know I'm talking and almost, it almost becomes erotic, this experience with the peach. And it is worth taking slowly. Because after you finally finish devouring the peach, you sort of look up and you realize that you are standing in an orchard of peaches. And they're all just like the one you just ate. And it almost takes your breath away and you stand back and it makes you look back at the path you were on, the breadcrumb trail you were following. And at that point in time, the slowness of your process, the methodical steps you had to take to get there, no longer seem heavy and burdensome. They become almost romanticized in your mind. And it almost makes the achievement so much more profound. That's what your reading is. It's something. It's something. This reading is something. It's actually kind of nice. The other two were a little bit heavy, but this reading is something. So before you think, oh, it's all over, it's not. You have a card from the Journey of Love Oracle deck. And the card that you got was number 56, Dance of the Planets. There are forces larger than your own personal destiny at work in your life now. Although they are not inharmonious to you, you may feel as though you are being blocked from, or, on the other hand, rocketed towards the heavens on a roll that nothing can derail. Either way, the planets are dancing as they will, and there is an effect upon your destiny. I'm actually going to stop there because there's quite an intense synchronicity with what was just said, and what is also linked to, is it Mike the Myomancer? Yes, there is a quote in one of the paragraphs linked to Mike the Myomancer that says, a famous philosopher who is anonymous once said, the lifting of a finger disturbs the farthest star. Mike says it works the other way around too. He advises us to make a slow and observant study of the little things and their even smaller details in the world around us. I just feel it almost as if it describes the enormity of your experience. All right. From rising, there will be gentle rest to recover before rising again. And from restraint, there will be propulsion into greater stratospheres. All things in time. According to the wisdom of greater cycles, it is okay to trust in the cosmic cycles and divine timing. After all, what point is there to rush to the bus stop if the bus doesn't depart until tomorrow? And what point is there to hold back if you are ready and set to go? Trust in the timing and rhythm of your life now, especially if it seems out of your control. That is the dance of the planets happening through you. This oracle brings a message. Pray that the planetary forces funnel blessings of grace and unconditional love, mercy, and joy to you now, that their movements through your life may happen in such a way that you can make the most of it. These are the times when big shifts are possible, supported by cosmic movements. So pray for grace and then enjoy the ride. Your poem. In those days, time was ours. We walked in the rain and held each other's hands. Your lips warm against my skin, and your soul melting into mine. As night became morning, amongst the cobblestone walks of now forgotten places we called ours. I love that poem at the end. It reminds me of the romantic energy that sits around the achievement of that juicy peach. And so there it is, pile number 3. I'm going to go do an extended reading for you. You can find the link to that at the bottom of the description within this video. If I see you there, wonderful. If not, until next time, to be gentle with yourselves. Bye.